This is Future Talk.
Future Talk.
Future Talk with Omnia Al Saleh and Hani Balkis.
Welcome back to Future Talk right here on Pulse 95. It is me, Hani Balkis, with Omnia Al Saleh, bringing you everything you need to know about what's happening in the tech world, in the UAE, and around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Sunday. We are kickstarting your week with the greatest news that is happening in the tech world. Thankfully, today is not as sunny as the rest of the days for the past month.
I gave up on the difference at this point.
It's okay, because I felt like there was a little bit of a breeze.
Really?
Today.
I think maybe your car was working extra hard to keep you cool.
It could be that as well.
Lots and lots is in store on today's show as we discuss Microsoft, because they're actually challenging Apple's business model with the brand new Windows 11 operating system. If I'm not mistaken, this is probably going to be the last Windows we see. That's it. After this, Windows is going to retire officially.
Yes, and also we're talking about the 10 fascinating space-themed displays at Expo 2020 Dubai.
Yes, indeed. Coming up on today's show, speaking of weird tech, we're going to be talking about a blood test that can find out 50 different types of cancer. It's accurate enough to even be rolled out worldwide, and we're going to tell you exactly how it does that.
Yes, and if you're tired of using Instagram on your phone, well, Instagram is testing a desktop posting feature. A lot of social media executives are going to love this one.
Yes, indeed. In the world of gadgets, lots is happening as well. And now you don't even need to go to a movie theater to be able to watch movies, because there's a pair of smart glasses that are portable movie screens, so you carry the movie wherever you go. I'm super excited for this story.
Yes, we got a lot in store for you guys today, so keep Pulse 95 locked, because we're going to be right back.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
Microsoft is leaving the operating systems world with a bang, because Windows 11 has actually been booming lately. A lot of people have been saying that this is Microsoft's way of challenging Apple's well-known operating system with a brand new Windows 11 operating system that has been a major revamp since the 2015 version, with new changes that are basically taking Apple by the neck.
Yes, now Windows 11, which will actually hit the market by the end of this year, will include a new Windows Store that will actually let software developers use their own in-app payment systems and pay no commissions to Microsoft. It will also let users both find and run Android mobile applications on their laptops and PCs. Now, we have to thank technology assistance from both Amazon and Intel for that. Now, before we get into the more of Windows 11, it has been making headlines a lot. And believe it or not, a lot of people are talking about it. Normal people are talking about it. I have friends who are talking about Windows 11. And it is weird because we don't usually hear about, hey, did you see that new Windows?
True.
And a lot of people don't really care per se. I don't remember when Windows 10 came out, people were talking about Windows 10.
Yeah, it was, I think, back in 2015, but it was like so long ago.
Yes, and I do have one comment, right?
Yeah.
I do believe if Microsoft does want to introduce Windows 11, they should introduce it for free. Right? Again, when you have an Apple product, they want to challenge Apple.
Yeah.
When you have an Apple product, you get all the updates for free. You get the update on the OS for free.
I totally forgot about that they charge people, because in my head, I thought they were just like Apple. With Apple, as a customer of Apple, you get all the new updates for the software, the operating system for free. And it kind of feels like every time they release a new operating system, it's like you just bought a new phone, because there's no difference between your old phone and the new phone that you're going to buy, apart from the speed when it comes to the battery health, when it comes to the RAM, etc. Now, as we've mentioned, Windows 11 will be hitting the market by the end of this year. It's going to include a lot of new features like the new Windows Store, but it's also going to be standing in contrast to Apple's walled garden approach, where the iPhone maker only lets users download software from the App Store, and it tries to impose a lot of controls on software developers. We've seen one example with this year. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, they were all struggling to fit into Apple's guidelines, their new privacy guidelines. And also with Apple, there's always, whenever there's an in-app payment, there's a payment of a commission of up to 30% to Apple itself. So The changes actually amount to a clash of visions between Microsoft and other companies such as Apple, who also want to basically charge these developers for some money so that they can make the most out of the operating system. At the end of the day, they want to gain some money as well.
Yes, now fun fact, Apple is the only other US listed company to hit a $2 trillion in value, and it does also challenge Google and the Google Play Store, which also does charge developers commission. Now, we're looking at how Windows 11 will include many features which is aimed at these type of users, and such as the ability to be more seamlessly to undock a computer connected to an external monitor, to take a call in a quieter room, and then actually returning to the docking station afterward. Now, the company also did say it will integrate its Teams chat software directly into that operating system, a move that actually could cause conflict with Slack Technologies, which is Microsoft's top rival in the workplace chat sector. Now, we do know that that Microsoft has a lot of room to play around with, right?
Yeah.
Mostly all programs are designed for Windows computers. The thing is with Apple, not a lot of softwares are designed for Apple, for Apple computers. But with Microsoft, there's a lot of room to play around. And we got to know, I'm 100% correct. I'm sure that a lot of people use Apple MacBooks. But we have to look at the majority. The majority use Windows.
Exactly.
75% of the world, if not more, uses Windows.
And especially when it comes to certain professions like coders, programmers, those actually have two laptops. One that is Windows with a Windows operating system, another that runs on Apple. And simply because a lot of the programming languages don't run as smoothly on MacBook computers. So that's, again, another perk for Windows over Apple. Looking at it, this new Windows update is also going to be a favorite for many gamers because Xbox app and other gaming programs do run a lot better on Windows versus Apple as well. Now, the biggest shift appears to be the Microsoft's pitch to developers and content creators who want to make the most out of the 1.3 billion Windows users out there, because they're actually going to be basically making the commission little to none for Windows and making them gain all the money. They're also going to be including new tools for tipping content creators as well as local news outlets. I feel like that's yet another move that they're following from Facebook and Instagram, but time will tell. The company has also recently cut commissions on games that are sold through the Windows Store to 12% rather than 15%, which again will mean this is going to encourage a lot of app developers to basically create more softwares and applications and games for Windows versus Apple. We want to hear from you. Are you one of those 1.3 billion Windows users, or are you, just like Hani and I, loyal Apple operating system users?
Now, I'm actually really inclined to see how this works out because, again, when Windows 8 came out, a lot of people were not happy with Windows 8.
True.
Windows 7 and Windows XP were the best operating systems coming out of Microsoft. Windows Vista didn't get a lot of attention. A lot of people used it.
Man, it's like you're going back in memory lane.
Yeah.
You're saying all those operating systems. I'm like, man, that was back in school, middle school, high school.
Windows Vista was horrible, right? And then they redeemed themselves with Windows 7. Windows 7 was one of the best, my favorite. Windows 8 also flopped. Windows 10, they have redeemed themselves. So it seems like good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. And now Windows 10 was good. So let's see what Windows 11 has. Is it going to go on that usual good, bad, or are we going to see good, good?
I guess only time will tell. Coming up on today's show, we're going to be basically traveling to outer space, but staying right here in the UAE because the UAE is bringing space to us. Coming up on the show, we're going to be talking about 10 fascinating space-themed displays that will be present at Expo 2020 in Dubai. Keep Pulse 95 locked. We'll be right back.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
Ladies and gentlemen, the clock is ticking. And we do know the long-awaited Expo 2020 Dubai is almost here, inshallah. So far, everything is going great. We're going on time, on schedule. Yes, we couldn't do it last year, but inshallah this year it will be even better.
You know the saying, كل تأخير فيها خيرة.
I was just about to say it, believe it or not, Omnia.
كل تأخير فيها خيرة. So every delay, there's something good
out of it.
In every delay.
There's a reason for it, you know?
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking about today 10 fascinating space-themed displays that will be at Expo 2020 Dubai. Now, in the past, World Expos did serve as a platform for countries to display their achievements in space, and Expo 2020 will be no different. Now, we do know we don't have one achievement, we have many achievements in space coming right out of the UAE. Now, several pavilions, including the US, Italy, and Russia, do have space-themed shows, and the Mobility Pavilion will celebrate the UAE's achievement in space with a Mars corridor that will show the nation's journey to the red planet.
Yes, indeed. And just like you mentioned, Hani, the UAE has so many achievements when it comes to space exploration that I don't even know where to start. Whether it was sending the first Emirati astronaut to the International Space Station, launching several satellites to outer space, looking at our journey to the red planet, they're all amazing achievements that are going to be highlighted at this year's Expo pavilions.
And it's all been done in the past 2 years, believe it or not.
Even amidst the pandemic.
2019, 2020, and even 2021, we've seen a lot of achievements coming from the UAE in the space sector.
Yes, indeed. So we're going to take you through a quick journey to what the Expo is going to look like. You're going to first find the SpaceX rocket model, and the US Pavilion will actually have this rocket model because it's showcasing one of its biggest achievements in the year 2019 and 2020, which is the Falcon 9 booster. So the US Space Agency, NASA, was actually launching astronauts from Florida again by using the SpaceX rockets. So we're going to be seeing a mock-up of those in the Pavilion of the United States. But we're also going to be seeing moon rock samples that have been brought back by Apollo missions. So these are the real deal. You're not looking at mock-ups. This is going to be the actual moon rock samples. And NASA is actually the only space agency that has landed astronauts on the moon, and it aims to return humans to the surface within this decade. But I'm just going to say that NASA's the only one yet. I'm sure the UAE has plans to go to the moon as well.
Of course, 100%. Again, we've been looking at the moon as kind of like a transit point.
Yeah.
Right? You know, before we go into the moon, we'll chill by the before we go to Mars, we'll chill by the moon.
We've seen the Rashid rover as
Yes.
well that's planning to go to the moon.
We'll drink some coffee and continue our way there, or even play some chess. And we're talking about a chess set that was carried into space on the Soyuz 3 and Soyuz 4 spacecraft. That was all the way back in 1968 and 1969. And it will also be shown on the Expo. Now, visitors there will also see the unique design of the board, including the pegs and grooves that helped these pieces still in zero gravity. I mean, how can you play chess in zero gravity? There's no gravity. And the prize of them all, the thing that I am most excited about, right, is the Mars Corridor, which is to celebrate the Emirati achievements in space. And the Mars Corridor is the Mobility Pavilion, and will actually explain the journey of the Hope probe to the red planet. Now, a quick recap. Hope did reach Mars in February and is orbiting the planet until now, gathering scientific data on the upper and lower atmosphere.
And speaking of data, visitors will actually be able to see all the data that different researchers have been able to enjoy, and they have received it all from the spacecraft. We're also going to be seeing different displays in the corridor that would allow every space enthusiast and every student to go ahead and develop their very own spaceship plans. We are also going to be seeing a replica of the Mars rover. So the US Pavilion will also be showcasing a replica of one of its own rovers that have been launched to space and to the red planet very recently. It's not yet known which one will we be seeing, but NASA did land its most advanced and expensive Mars mission, Perseverance, on the surface of the planet this year, and we're going to be seeing it basically like a mock-up of it at the pavilion.
There's a lot of things happening and going on at Expo 2020 Dubai when it does come to the space sector. I'm really excited. Future Talk is excited. And let us know your guys' thoughts. 4215 do it slot or on our Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. Are you as excited as us, and what are you looking forward to the most? For me, obviously, it will be the corridor, the Mars corridor, but also, ladies and gentlemen,
The visits?
the visits.
Yes.
We will be seeing visits from astronauts.
And Emirati astronauts. That is what I'm most excited about, especially getting to know more about the two new Emirati astronauts that are going to be joining the second National Astronaut Program right here in the UAE.
And also, see, I wanted to end the segment.
But like there's so much.
But there's so much information. I was like, maybe but then I look, I'm like, no, I can't just skip it. There's going to be a space show at Al Wasl Dome, which is in Dubai, and it is the world's largest 360-degree project screen at the Expo site, Al Wasl Dome, and it will actually feature a space-themed show. Now, it's actually not clear what will it include, but a sneak peek this year did show that rockets, Emirati astronauts, and even satellites and other spacecrafts will be there.
Well, I mean, if that doesn't get you excited for Expo 2020, I don't know what will. Coming up on today's show, the excitement still continues as we talk about finding out different types of cancer without needing tough biopsies, time-consuming
Just
tests.
a blood test.
Just a blood test.
Quick
a
and
very
simple.
simple blood test. Keep Pulse 95 locked. We'll be right back.
Check this out. Check this out. Pulse 95.
Innovation in the healthcare industry only keeps coming, and every single day we talk about a new innovation, a new form of tech that is making life a lot easier for many patients. Now, cancer is sadly one of the hardest diagnoses a person could receive. In the past, it used to feel like a death sentence. Nowadays, luckily, due to advancements in medicine, we have seen the light at the end of the tunnel. But there's a new blood test that could potentially make diagnosing cancer, A, be a lot more accurate, but B, become a lot faster, especially when you're in that position where you're scared, you don't know whether you have it or not. One blood test can find out 50 different types of cancer, and it's accurate enough to even be rolled out, hopefully globally soon.
Yes, now the test, which is also being piloted by the NHS in England in autumn, is actually aimed at people at higher risk of the disease, including patients who are aged 50 and older. Now, it is actually able to identify many types of the disease that are difficult to diagnose in the early stages, such as head and neck cancer, ovarian cancer, pancreatic, esophageal, and some blood cancers. Now, scientists have said their findings, which was published in the Journal of Annals of Oncology, did show that the test does accurately detect cancer often before any signs or symptoms appear, while having a very low false positive rate.
Now, this is a great advancement when it comes to tech, because whenever we're talking about diagnosing cancer, a lot of people can basically live very terrifying hours especially when doctors are confused whether it's a malignant tumor or benign, doing biopsies, doing different tests to try and diagnose them. And we always know that catching cancer in its early stages is basically a winning card because you have a much higher chance at recovering from it. Now, this test was actually developed by a US-based company known as Grail, and they were looking at chemical changes in our genetic code. So our DNA is made out of code or genetic code, and certain proteins can actually be or chemicals can actually be released into the bloodstream if there is a cancerous tumor. So this is exactly what this blood test measures. It examines the DNA and it looks at what is circulating in the blood. If there are any chemicals that these tumors are releasing into the blood, they will be caught immediately in this blood test. It has impressively high levels of accuracy, and scientists have actually tested its performance on about 2,823 people, and those people had the cancerous disease, and then they tested it on 1,254 people who did not have cancer. And this blood test was actually able to identify when cancer was present in about 51% of those cases across all stages of the disease. It only had wrong results in about 0.5% of the cases, which is a remarkably low percentage when you think about a new blood test that's only being trialed very recently.
Yes, now in solid tumors that actually don't have any screening options, such as esophageal, liver, and pancreatic cancers, the ability to actually generate a positive test was twice as higher, as 65.6%, as that for solid tumors that do not have screening options, such as breast, bowel, cervical, and prostate cancers. Now, the overall ability to generate a positive test result in cancers such as blood and lymphoma and myeloma was 55.1%. Now, the test correctly does also identify the tissue in which the cancer was located at in the body in 88.7% of cases. Now, they do say that false positives are low, which is important as this will avoid misdiagnosis. And actually, for some of the most common tumor types such as bowel or even lung cancer, the test even picked up cancers that were actually very small, at a stage where many of them could actually potentially be cured. So we're looking at breakthrough technology yet again in the medical sector.
Absolutely. And the data from this blood test actually shows that if they use it alongside existing screening tests, they could potentially have an impact on how cancer is detected, but also on how it's treated and how fast people can get rid of those cancers. Because a lot of the times, the reason why certain cancers go through metastasis and then you can't really cure them because it's spread everywhere is because when they were small cancerous cells, scientists and doctors were not able to detect them because there aren't any certain tests or screenings that could be done for those specific types of cancer. We're also looking at a study that has been done on those patients whose cancer has already been diagnosed. So they've tested it on people who didn't have cancer and on people who did have cancer. And in both ways, it was highly, highly accurate. So this is going to be a very encouraging blood test, and I'm hoping to see it rolled out around the world when it's safe enough, because again, false positives can be a very big scare for patients. So I'm hoping that it's going to be rolled out pretty soon.
Yeah, I hope so as well. Again, it's always great to see that one of the most, I can say, diseases in the world, cancer, it is a very harsh thing to hear that, hey, you have cancer, and I hope no one ever gets it. And, the Arabic saying, Allah yab'ad anna ash-shar, God, protect us, push all the bad things away from us. And we do need to, again, get tested. And check, there's for breast cancer, there's certain procedures for prostate, there's things to do to kind of annual checkups that a lot of people actually do. And when you reach a certain age where you are kind of more vulnerable to cancer, you should go and get that checked out. But hopefully soon we'll see how maybe a blood test could make all of that easier. Let us know your guys' thoughts, 4215 Dur Slat, or on our Instagram at Pulse95 Radio. We're going to be taking a short break, but when we come back, we're talking all about Instagram.
Pulse 95.
Apps all around.
What's worth a click and download?
Instagram is finally testing a desktop posting feature, which was actually a major missing feature from the desktop web version. Now, obviously, Instagram is made for people who use it on their phones, on their iPads, but not really for people who use it on the desktop. Now, when your job is all about social media or being a social media executive, you will want to use Instagram on your desktop a lot more. It's just easier when you're editing on Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, whatever platform it is, and then uploading automatically from there to your desktop, to your Instagram. It is much easier, but they never actually had that option. But Instagram, again, is testing that ability to create posts using the web browser on a desktop computer. And that feature was actually spotted by a social media consultant who did capture some screenshots demonstrating that functionality.
Yes, indeed. Now, Facebook does acknowledge that a lot of people want to be able to access Instagram from their computers, especially if you're someone with a small business, if you're a social media specialist or executive, and all of your world revolves around Instagram posts, timing them up, typing captions out, posting them on time. You want to be able to do that from your computer. So they've decided to allow us to basically create a feed post on Instagram with our desktop browser. Now, as you've mentioned, Tanya, a social media consultant actually was able to spot this feature even before it was launched to everyone else. But she shared screenshots that showcase how you're even able to select what aspect ratios do you want? So how big do you want the post to look like? She was able to apply built-in features and use basic editing parameters within the browser. Now, this feature is not appearing for everyone just yet. However, it is highlighted in the top right of the screen with a message that does say that you can now go ahead, create and share posts directly from your computer, which does show that Instagram is serious about having a broad rollout for this feature for everyone who uses Instagram on their desktops.
Yes, now with that screenshots, we're looking at how you can select aspect ratios, apply built-in filters, and even use basic editing parameters within that browser. And just like Omnia said, it's not appearing for everyone, but I'm really excited to see how it will cater to, again, you do know that, let's say, for example, you want to upload a picture on Instagram right now.
Yeah.
It's going to tell you you have to use within this aspect ratio. You can't go above it, you can't go lower it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how that will work with desktop Instagram. But again, Instagram has been historically slow to implement features on its web app. Now, before you couldn't even direct message or view stories. And now you can on the desktop, and direct messaging only became available just last year, for example. But social media professionals who do use Instagram as part of their daily workflow have had to actually resort to third-party tools to create desktop posts, showing that some use cases don't necessarily benefit from the mobile-only approach. Now, actually, I've seen a lot of social media executives use, for example, third-party websites and actually pay for those websites to post or schedule a timing when an Instagram post should be uploaded.
And it's been very inconvenient for those people because, I mean, this is their day-to-day job. They shouldn't be needing to pay subscription services for third-party applications if Instagram itself can go ahead and implement this feature. Now, we do know that Apple's latest iMac came with a completely new design and the M1 processor chip, which does mean that a lot of people are actually looking to implement all the different new skills that they are getting on their new iMacs with their Instagram platforms. Let us know. Are you an Instagram desktop version or an Instagram phone version type of person? I know, like, a lot of people, they either use WhatsApp on their mobile only or they use a mixture of both. Yeah,
I mean, for me, I don't use WhatsApp in general.
Yeah.
But with Instagram, I would have. For me, I don't need any Instagram on my desktop. I don't use it.
Yeah.
Right. But if I needed Instagram on my desktop, I would want those features to be available.
Exactly. Let us know where do you lie on those two lines. Are you just the person who uses the apps on the phone the way they are, or do you also prefer having them on your desktop as well? Our text lines are open 4215 do it a lot or slide into our DMs at Pulse 95 Radio. Coming up, if you're a big movies fan and you're just tired of having to pay every single time for your movie ticket, we have a new gadget that
you can pay like $1,000 and have movies forever.
Exactly. It's a lifetime investment. We're bringing the movies all the way to you with a simple gadget. What could this gadget be?
Gadget of the day.
New tech you might want to play with.
Pulse 95.
Okay. We're both excited about these glasses.
Right? I mean, if you're a big movies fan, these glasses are going to be your absolute favorite. The price may not be an absolute favorite to me or anyone else. But I mean, if you calculate how much do you spend on movie tickets, especially if we're talking like people like Aisha, Nazmi, and Mikhail Altia, I'm sure they spend a lot of money paying
watching movies.
Yeah, to be able to review them on Future Talk, an afternoon karak.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're talking about TCL's new smart glasses that are portable movie screens. Now, there's actually a refreshing take on smart glasses where everyone is actually hyper-focused on augmented reality. We're looking at how one day we might just have these movie glasses.
Yes, indeed. Now, these wearable display glasses, they're not about giving context to the world around you. They're going to help you stay immersed in your own little world while you're out on the go. Now, I love the concept of those glasses because you're looking at glasses that will become the future movie theater. Gone are the days where people have to go to movie theaters. We've seen them advance. We've seen...
But I don't want that.
You don't want that?
I don't want that. There's a certain feeling when you go into a movie theater.
Especially with friends.
It's cold. You walk in, I don't remember the last time I was early to a movie.
Yeah.
I was always like 15 minutes late.
So you don't... So I'm the same way.
Because the lines are so long and people are like eating. I would want to eat.
The popcorn section, honey.
And
like the smell.
With us... Our group of friends were like 14 guys.
Oh, God.
So 14 guys, we're waiting for food. So it's always a problem going to the movie theater. But that experience, I don't want to be eliminated by technology.
I agree with you, especially because it's you're not paying just to watch the movie, because you could do that in your home. You could do that by paying for Netflix, Hulu, whatever you want to call it. But it's the overall experience of going into the movies, having the whole theme of it. Dimmed lights, loudspeakers.
Yeah, I mean, Omni, you explaining or describing the experience, it reminds me of something from, I don't know if you've watched the movie, RoboCop.
No.
It's a very classic 1980 movie with Sylvester Stallone, right?
Yeah.
And now, if you told me, honey, remember this movie, I wouldn't remember it. But because the way you described it, it imprinted something in my brain, which was RoboCop. Anyways, long story short, is that when they would get together, it's actually it's the theme is the 2000s.
Okay.
Right. So right now.
Yeah.
So they would get together and they'd be friends and they're like, hey, you want to watch a movie? Yeah. And they'd put on like a VR headset, right? And they would
let's watch a movie together.
Yeah, let's watch a movie together, and that would be in their own homes. So that was RoboCops in the 1980. I believe it's a 1980, if not 1970 movie. So again, people kind of foreshadowed it back in the day.
True.
And now it's coming to life. And I do believe those foreshadowings, I know inventors kind of look at old movies and say, hey, let's implement that.
True, I agree with you, because a lot of the things that were hinted in different shows, whether it was cartoon shows like The Simpsons or Black Mirror, we've seen them come to reality when it comes to different innovations. Now, let's give you a little bit more detail on what these amazing glasses have to offer. So, first off, they combine your two 1080p Sony Micro OLED displays that can basically give you a huge screen into those small glasses. These glasses also have stereo speakers, and they have a very nice touch for those who have bad eyesight, because they also come with lens adapters. So if you have any eyesight issues, you're also going to be taken into consideration when it comes to those glasses. This brand that is producing those glasses has also previewed a multi-screen collaboration feature, which actually lets you share screens across different devices. I'm going to be interested to see how that works out. So does that mean I could see what, let's say, Hani is watching or my friends are watching into my own glasses?
I mean, again, I think that would be kind of like a share screen.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense out of it.
It would be like kind of like share screen. I want to go back to that movie, right?
Yeah.
So I did my research. It wasn't RoboCop. It was Demolition Man. It was in 1993, and the theme was 2032.
Oh.
So a good 12 years from now.
Okay.
2032. That was the theme. Sylvester Stallone. It was a box office hit. But now we might be seeing that maybe not in 2032, maybe right now.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, again, we can see that you can share screens. It's basically a plug and play. All you do need is a USB-C display out port from whatever device you would usually watch content on. So if you're watching it on your laptop, you would connect the glasses, boom, bang, boom.
It's amazing, honestly, especially for people who just want to block out the outside world.
Yes.
You want to take a break, you put on those smart glasses, and you're in your own world.
Yes.
Let us know what you think of these glasses, and would you get a pair for yourself?
I'm actually excited right now to finish work and go home and watch Loki. So yesterday, be quick. Yesterday I was pretty bored, you know. I couldn't go to the gym. My arm was hurting me again. I was annoyed. And then I open up and I say, hey, there's this Loki series that everyone's talking about. And I watched the first episode and I was like, wow.
Fell in love?
I like it. Now, unfortunately, there's only 3 episodes, so I'm gonna be those type of people that waiting for the next episode.
I hate that so much. But let us know, are you watching any movies, and would you like your very own pair of smart glasses that bring the movie theater to you? Future Talk is coming to an end, but we hope you enjoyed this hour of tech news with us as much as we did. Catch us again tomorrow, same time, same place, from 2 to 3 p.m. only here on Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.